Guys, it's Morgan from Highland Cycles coming to you with another fork seal video. Today we're going to be doing some super duper simple Showa forks. These ones are off of a 2008 Suzuki Bandit 1200, but they are the same as lots and lots and lots and lots of like old damper rod style Showa forks. So let's get to it. I chalk her up in the soft jaws, take the cap off, and 24mm wrench. Come in here and come in here. You can see, let me pull this down a little bit. You see you got a nut here and then you got flat parts right there of this cap. So those are 14mm. We're going to take this cap off, then we'll dump everything out and drain it. So you need two 14mm wrenches. There we go. There we go. Take this spacer. Someone else made this spacer. Preload spacer, probably to add a little preload. The Bandit's not a super stiff bike. It's kind of squishy for most people, so a lot of people will build a little bit taller spacer for that to help stiffen it up. Then we're going to take it. Again, I got this tray here, so I'm just going to take the spring out. It's okay if some oil drops there because it goes down into a thing, but then I'll take it here and put it into my handy dandy sink. Let that drain. So now, you got that drained, at least mostly. If you look inside here, there's an Allen. Okay, we got to get that Allen out so we can get the damper rod out of this whole thing. I like to use air gun to pull it out because it'll break it loose and get that nut loose without spinning the whole damper rod, and that way we can get it out. 6mm Allen. Come in here. Just like that. This comes out. Quick little tip. Every one of these bolts that are the bolt that holds the damper rod in should have a little crush washer with it. If it comes out without that crush washer, first of all, you need to check on the bottom of the fork and see if it's still stuck to that. If it's not there at all, you definitely need to add one to it. So, super important so the thing doesn't weep and leak over time. There's that. Now, damper rod comes out. Super simple, nothing crazy. Fork, great for an old street bike. I mean, not old, but great for a simple street bike that's not some super duper performance bike. So we're gonna set this in our sink and we'll bleed that out here in a bit. Hey, Aaron, you're fine.
Sorry.
I edited it
Fucking up your porn. Hey, can I borrow some chain lube?
Yeah. Here.
This is a fucking...
I'll edit it. Now that Aaron jumped in there.
Yeah.
Alright, so now we got the damper rod out. Now all we got are just these two tubes, bushings, and things like that. So, first, to get this seal out, you're going to take a flat blade screwdriver, and you can come in here, and you got to be careful not to have it slip off and get you. Just come in here, tilt that up, boom, there goes the dust seal. Down inside there, there's a spring, a circlip. You're going to pop that out. There we go. And then, like all the other forks, you're going to just kind of slide hammer this apart.
Hey, you know who drives that?
What's happening?
Hey, how are you, Morgan?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing all right, thanks.
What is happening?
So you're we're live, huh?
Yeah. Well, you're not live. We are recording though.
Check that out.
All right. So we got our part, and we'll go ahead and take the bushings off. And for this inner bushing like this, one of the keys is you take a flat blade and go right into. You can see the split right there. You're gonna take a flat blade on there and then twist it, and that opens it up enough to get it off. when you have hands. There we go. All right. Now we got everything apart. I'm gonna take it over and wash it. So come over here. I'm gonna wash it with just good mineral spirits. And we're gonna get the inside and the outside. I'm not gonna bore you with actually filming all of that, but basically you wanna get all the old oil out. And then we'll get it all shined up and ready to put the new seals on. Ricochet.
What up, Morgan?
Not much. So, one of the keys to doing fork seals is you want to take some red Scotch-Brite and you're going to just calm down the tube like this. And you're putting a crosshatch back in that chrome that'll help hold oil, you know, just a thin film of oil as it slides up and down. And that'll help make this thing slide up and down nice and smooth. So do that. I'm going to clean it. I'm going to take some good brake parts cleaner. Get all the oil, the extra oil and stuff off from my hands and blow this out. Make sure it's nice and dry. All right. Now we're ready to go back together. So we're going to start, take the bushings, clean them off, make sure there's no debris or anything on there. That one on there. And we're going to slide this nice and easy, like that. Then we can take this bushing, make sure it's nice and clean and happy. Drop that. Next is the washer. I'm going to take our fork seal drivers. These are 43 millimeter. We're going to come over here. And I'm going to put a link in the description of this video for all the stuff we use. If you want to buy them from Amazon, that way, if you buy them through Amazon through our link, it actually helps us out, which is awesome. And you get the happy, fuzzy feeling of buying from Amazon, knowing that there's insurance and a good shipping and all that good stuff. So we got that in there. Now it's time for seals. Next one, oil seal. You're going to put it in just like it came out, like the other one. I always like to put this kind of, push it down in by hand first, so you get it kind of squared up and level in there. Then we take our driver, circlip. Again, I like to clean everything before you put it in there. There's no reason to contaminate with old oil or old debris. Put that in there. You gotta end up using a flat blade to kind of push it down in there. Be careful when you're doing this not to cut the seal. There we go. Dust seal. A lot of times you can just get that on my hand. There we go. All right, now it's time to put the damper rod back in. First, though, we got to bleed it. These old style damper rods tend to hold oil, so you can see how hard that is to pull. It's because there's still oil inside this rod. You can see it coming out. And the reason we're doing this is a couple of reasons. First of all, you want to get all that old oil out since you're bothering to do all this work. And then also, the amount we're putting back in is just an amount. We're not going on a level. So if you leave some oil in here and you put the recommended amount in, then you'll be too high. So you got to get all this out. And you'll know it's out. It'll start getting easier and easier to move. There we go. There we go. Now we're going to clean this up with some brake clean. Make sure it's moving nice. Alright. Then, so here, this nut is the nut that locks the top on. You want to make sure that is all the way down. See how I can come up like that? If you let it up and then put it on there, the height won't be right. So you need to make sure you run it all the way down. Just by hand, I kind of tighten so it doesn't move. Then you're going to come in here. Get that down in there till it seats. Get our bolt with the crush washer on it. I like to start these. I take the 6mm socket like this, or Allen socket like that. Lift that up so the damper rod wants to stay down in. You come up through the hole, and you can feel it. You just start it by hand. If you start it by hand, you'll know you're not going to cross thread. You get it all the way in there. It actually kind of sets up a little bit. Then I'm going to take my electric impact and tighten it down. Because this doesn't have that much torque, and I'm not going to strip it out anyway. I'll come in here like this. There we go. Now we're going to add oil. These show-off forks for this Bandit 1200 take 475 milliliters or 475 cc's of oil. So we'll go here. I like the 10 weight in these. 10 weight is good. It slows the forks down a little bit for a big heavy street bike. 15 weight seems to make them too harsh, and 5 weight is just way too soft. So I'll go 10 weight, fill our ratio right up to 475. And pour her in there. Then we're going to bleed the cartridge, right? So if you reach in here, you can just move it up and down, and nothing's really happening because it takes to do it like this. It would take a while for that to go in there. Another way of doing this is you lift up on the inner tube, put your hand over so you're sealing the air, push down, and that when you push down with your hand on top, it forces air to force that oil into the damper rod. Do that a couple times. There we go. And now, just like we want, nice and hard to pull up, just like we want it to be. Now, we're going to take our spring, put it back in there. Washer on next. Preload spacer. Little keeper there. And then our cap. Like I said, we want to make sure this nut is run all the way down. We'll take our cap, do it by hand until it stops, and chalk her back up here. We're going to tighten this down. And this is an important one to get tight, because if you don't get this tight enough, over time, as the fork moves, it'll loosen up and come apart, and then it'll damage the inside of the fork. Come here like this. Keep her in there. Like that. Then, just started, I come down here. Again, I try to do it by hand. You don't want to cross this. You don't want to cross thread this. This is aluminum and this is steel. It's easy to cross thread it, so you want to do it by hand. There we go. And put it back in the shop jaws. When you're tightening this down, I'll make sure your jaws are nice and tight. But also, you don't need to go crazy tight. There's an O-ring and a spring kind of holding everything tight. So you don't want it to come apart, but you don't have to be Gorilla Guy on it. There we go. Fork seal's done. 43mm show-off forks, old school, damper rod style. These are on a ton of different motorcycles. Harleys, Japanese bikes, everything. I hope that was informative. Hope that helped you guys get your fork seals done. If you know some people that are trying to do their own fork seals on stuff like this, go ahead and share the video. That'd be awesome. Give us a thumbs up if you like it. If we've earned it, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and get the little notification bell clicked so you know when we're doing new videos. And yeah, we're doing new videos all the time. Try to do, well, one a day, at least a few a week. So thanks, guys. Hope that helped you out. Hope you get out and spread the gospel of two wheels. And I really hope you get out and ride your dirt bikes.